Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Prophet Got the Profit back with another video. Today, I'm not going to do a tutorial. I'm just going to kind of go over a brief little summary on my journey as a producer when it comes to, on YouTube and really starting my online business. As you can see here already in the background, I have the view count of my whole lifetime on YouTube from when I started in 2020, the channel, all the way to now, currently. I don't know I think there's a little glitch in the system. I don't know why there's like this spike right here, but it was flat. I wasn't getting any views when I started. But just go to the beginning here. As you can see, I started the channel around, I think it was like March 2020 when I uploaded my first video publicly. And from March 2020 when I started up until where it gets green right here, I was just making, whatever beat, type beat, it was like, for example, like I would make a Tyga type beat and post it. I would make a Future type beat, post it. I would make a Travis Scott type beat, post it, not thinking anything of it. I wasn't really posting every day. I would try to, again, I was in college at this time and I played college football. So, I'll talk about later how I was able to structure my time accordingly to be able to fit everything in. But during this time, I was just doing a beat. I'll probably post like 3 to 4 beats a week, 3 to 4. It was not every day. It was about 3 to 4. 2020, it was also COVID too. So that's actually what got me to start, because I actually had more time to be away from school since it was online classes and all that. So, but just to stay on track, that is when I got started. I was doing about 3 to 4 beats per day around this whole time. And I'm just kind of figuring out my sound. You know what I mean? I'm just making beats consistently every day, posting whichever ones I like and I want the world to hear, However, doing type beats, which I later learned for like using keywords like a mainstream artist like Future, Travis Scott, Drake type beats, all that, it's going to be very hard for the channel to grow. That's why there's a lot of just horizontal, not really a lot of growth here with the views. Granted, the channel just started, so don't expect your channel just blow up out of, from thin air. But as far as that search engine optimization, you don't want to use those keywords that are mainstream, because a lot of other producers are already using those keywords. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward, as you could see, when it gets green right here and the channel views start picking up a little bit. This is, what year is this? It's like, yeah, this is right, because this is around 2021 in 2022. When I came across a YouTube video, how it was explaining what I was just saying with the keywords and the search engine optimization on how you should niche down. It doesn't mean you got to stop making trap beats, but instead of a Travis Scott type beat, maybe do a Don Toliver type beat. He's a little bit more mainstream now, but like at this time in 2021, I bet Don Toliver would have been a better keyword to use than Travis Scott, or Sofago for that matter. You know what I'm saying? Just niche down to smaller up and coming artists that are still growing, and other artists, because this we have to understand, right? In studios, artists either come with beats from producers they might have contacted. Maybe if it's a mainstream artist that signed to a label, the A&R will come with beats. But just the everyday up and coming artists, they really go to YouTube for their beats. And I've seen this firsthand in studio. Artists come in session after session. Hey, engineer, pull up Travis Scott type beat, whatever. But they'll say any artist. But I say that to say, when you niche down and do the underground up and coming artists, those artists that are in the studio are looking for those type beats too. For example, if you want to get into like the Opium type of sound, there's a lot of artists that will go in the studio and literally ask, hey, can I get a Osa Mason type beat? Can I get a King Carson type beat, Short Lonely type beat? They're not going to say Playboy Cardi type beat, but they'll do the lesser known, more underground type of artists in that niche, because there's specific sounds to each niche and subgenre within rap as a whole. And then on top of that, it's easier to stick out when you're in this niche for the search engine optimization for your channel. So I know I just kind of threw a lot at you there, but that is what I started doing in around this time in 2021, 2022. This is when I started doing, what beats did I start? I think this is the time I started doing Y&J. I started doing the Detroit scene, like the Rio de Janeiro G type beats, Y&J, Louis Ray type beats, Crispy Life Kid. It's a very underground niche subgenre of rap. and not a lot of producers were putting these type of beats on YouTube. So that is why the views started picking up a little bit. So as you could see, I also started consistently posting every day at this point. So like in 2020 and 2021, I was just of course just putting what I can out there, just getting kind of used to consistently just putting my work on YouTube. 2022, I would locked in. I was like, okay, every day I'm posting a beat, and that's what I started doing. So 2022, as I niche down to a more niche market and posted every day, I started getting more views, as you can see. And it's still a long time. Let's see, before the spike happened. The spike didn't really happen till July 20th, 2023. And again, I locked in at the beginning of 2022, we could say. So that's a full year and a half of consistently posting every day to a niche. No mainstream artist, every day consistently posting, niching down every single day for a year and a half. And then I finally started getting more views. The channel kind of exploded a little bit. And again, the reason why it exploded out of nowhere, I know it looks like, oh, so did you post a beat in July 2023 that just exploded? No, it was the compound growth of these beats here in the beginning in 2022 and consistently posting. Because you got to remember, new people find the channel and they go back and they'll look through your whole channel and they'll go back to these videos. You get what I'm saying? Just because the channel is growing here, guess what? These people are still going back to these beats that I posted. You know what I'm saying? Every day I'll get a new artist tapping in on Instagram trying to buy a beat that I made last year. You know what I mean? So that's why it's just about being consistent. That is the main thing I want you guys to get from this video, is just the consistency. You know what I'm saying? This is all just consistency. I didn't even care about the views. I just told myself I'm gonna post every day and nothing's gonna stop me. I don't care about the view count. And then look what happened a year and a half later. Again, that's a whole year and a half. So it takes time, but you just got to do it. If you really love it and have a passion and want to be successful, you're not going to let anything stop you. Like I said, now I'm back in person in school in 2022 and 2023, playing football, going to college. I didn't use that as an excuse. I started to manage my time better, so where I could at least make one beat a day and post it on my school days, even if I had practice that day, which I did, and weightlifting, all that. It doesn't matter. If you want it that bad, you're going to find time in your day to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I work a full job, full time, 4 days out the week. So on my off days, on my 3 days off, I make beats for the whole week. So that way I can schedule them and post them. So on my work days, I don't got to worry about it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, as you grow as an entrepreneur, not just a producer, but if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to find how you're going to fit, that side business into your, real life. And it can be hard to do at first, but as you can just be consistent, and you're going to get better in all those areas. So I kind of sidetracked a little bit, but I was just dropping some good gems. But just back to as far as the channel growth. So here to the present day, as you can see, we're just going up. We're just going up and up. It's no more horizontal. No, we're just going up and up. And so I'm going to talk about the difference on why I'm going up. So first, again, this was consistent growth, sticking to one niche. And I was doing, like I said, maybe a rotation of 4 different artists. I was doing, again, Y&J, Louis Ray, Real Young OG, Crispy Life Kid. I was doing those 4 artists back to back to back to back. When I get here, when my channel first started, so when it got this first little bump right here, I started doing West Coast artists because the beats were pretty much the same. If you guys listen to Detroit music and LA rap and Northern California rap artists, they use very similar beats. It's like having a cousin in your family. Like, the sounds are literally, they're like cousins. They're like related. They have their own little differences, but they're very similar. So I was like, you know what? And I noticed that my audience that was doing the Detroit, my Detroit audience, started looking up West Coast audience beats too. So that's why I kind of branched out. But I still stayed. I didn't do underground Detroit artists and then start doing mainstream like YG type beats. No, I still stuck to the underground. Matter of fact, some of these Detroit artists have these West Coast artists on their albums. They work together, which is why the audience listens to both of these little subgenre niches, right? So I noticed that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing whatever West Coast artist hopped on a Real Young OG song, I'll start making those type beats. That's how I branched out, because obviously the listener is familiar with these artists from the West Coast too, even if they're, 3 hours away, or 3 hours, 3 hours ahead in terms of time zone, California to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Because of the distance, right? But the audience is still there, right? There's still people listening. So I say that to say I started doing Draco the Ruler type beats right here. That's what got me the little spike. Was still doing the Detroit beats, and then I started doing the Draco the Ruler type beats. Then I started digging in deeper into the West Coast niche, and I started doing EBK J-Bo type beats, EBK Young Jock type beats, Kai Bands type beats, just covering all the underground West Coast artists that were popping at the time and still are today. But that's what got me this little hump right here. Then it really skyrocketed because, one, my beats are getting better. I forgot to say that too. As you post over time, you're naturally going to get better at your craft, right? If you're staying consistent. So my beats are getting better, one. Two, I'm expanding the niche a little bit in my audience. So the audience is growing. YouTube is recommending the same beat to more people now, more viewers that are still within the niche. And again, the beats are just getting better and better. I honestly, I wasn't really reaching out to people on Instagram. The only thing I was doing was just posting every day to YouTube, because that's kind of all I had time for with college and football. I kept it simple. I didn't use any ads. I didn't do anything. I just got better at my craft, and posted every day. That's literally it. That's all you do, is you post every day. And as you post every day, you're naturally going to get better, right? Also, of course, I'm watching a bunch of YouTube videos. I'm paying attention to the rap scene as a whole. Like I said, I'm seeing the type of artists that work with each other within the niche. So I know, okay, let me start doing these type of beats, because, like I said, the listener obviously is familiar with all these different type of rappers, right? So that's really all I was doing. Paying attention to the rap scene, posting every day consistently, getting better at my craft. If you do those three things, no matter what type, it can be R&B beats, it can be pop beats, country beats. If you do those things, your channel's going to grow. But just understand it takes time. But yeah, so then we get to here. And like I said, now we're getting to last year, January 2024 to now. And we're just going up. And I'm sticking to the same principles. Posting every day, expanding my, type beat base of, I'm just paying attention to who in the rap scene is coming up. You know what I'm saying? Out of LA, I do a lot of HBK Jachi type beats, Draco the Ruler, Ramble, OTM, YNS Flacco, 310 Baby. You know what I'm saying? So I'm expanding, doing more rappers under the same umbrella of the niche. You know what I'm saying? That's literally, I keep saying that, but that's the key. That's the sauce. That's the gem. That's why I keep saying it, because that is literally how you build your audience and expand and get more subscribers. As you can see down here, again, for a type beat channel, you know what I'm saying? I'm at 4,000, I think I'm at 4,300 subs or 44. I forgot. You can check my channel, but I'm at like 4,400 subs, 1.7 million views. Average view duration is about a minute. As you can see right here, the average percentage viewed, 46%. So I also track to these metrics too, right? So if my average view duration is a minute, I'm going to start making my beats to where, okay, let me add a different element, like 45 seconds to a minute, to keep the listener listening. You know what I'm saying? But I'll get to that. I can explain that in another video and be more strategic. I just kind of wanted to show you guys and inspire those that are just starting their type beat channels of what you guys can become. And again, I'm still growing. You know what I'm saying? I'm at 4.4 subs right now. I'm trying to get to 10K. When I get to 10K, I'm trying to get to 30K. When I get to 30, I'm trying to get to 50. When I get to 50, I'm trying to get to 100. When I get to 100, I'm going to try to get to 1 million. And guess what? I'm going to do that by continuing what I'm doing. I'm going to just keep expanding the audience slowly but surely. My beats are just slowly getting better by the day. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. But I know my beats have been good for the past couple years, because like I said, artists will tap in and they want to purchase beats from around, that 2022 time. So that's why in 2022, when I really locked in, that's when like I really just had that confidence and self-belief, like I could really do it. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to get that as an entrepreneur. Like you'll know when your time is like, all right, it's really time to lock in. Like I got it like that. And when you start feeling like that, literally lock in. And how did I lock in? One more time before I close out the video. Be consistent. Prioritize, like time management if you have a lot on your plate. You got to want it, got to have passion for it, of course. Find your niche down. Research the artists that are still in the trap genre, still in the R&B genre, still in the country genre, whatever genre you want to produce. And do the up-and-coming artists, you know what I'm saying? Do the up-and-comers. Consistency, niche, I think that covers everything. Like I said, you just got to want it. That's the main thing. You got to want it. If you want it that bad, you're going to make it happen some way, somehow. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope that your guys' channels will be like this one day. I hope you guys even surpass this. And I hope that, you know, you can even have a spike, you know, faster than I did. It took me a year and a half. And since 2022, when I locked in, it took me a year and a half to get to this exponential growth here. I hope it happens within 6 months for you guys, 3 months. You know what I'm saying? If you do want it to happen faster, you would have to post more. Again, this was more so posting every day. But I know some producers that post 2 to 3 beats a day. And of course, they're going to see faster growth that way. It was just going to be hard for me to do that going to school. But if you're not working, if you're unemployed right now, take advantage of that time. Post 2-3 beats a day. Then post it on TikTok too. I wasn't doing no TikTok, no nothing. That's something that I wish I would have did earlier. But at the same time, it's my journey, right? But I'm just giving you a suggestion of what you guys could do. TikTok, same thing, same principles. Post every day. Be consistent. Multiple platforms, multiple artists, and you'll grow. It's just the consistency and passion that'll really, take you there. But yeah, that's all I have today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that, this was insightful, had some gems for you. Again, I'll continue with this type of video layout going forward. So it's not just me like cooking up beats. I want to be able to be, like I said, this channel is just for gems dropped across the board, from beat making, producing, networking, marketing, the actual channel, analytics, right? All this stuff, even financials. I'm going to get to everything. Entrepreneurship as a whole. I'm going to be covering all that on this channel because that is something. I went to school for business, right? That was my major, business, and I emphasize in finance and management. So I'm going to get, like I said, this is only the start to this channel. I'm going to be covering a lot, you know what I'm saying? But just bear with me. There's going to be more to come. Of course, I can't, drop everything right now, you know what I'm saying? But that's it for this video. Thank you guys. And yeah, peace out.